Hello guys, and welcome back to the Southwick Report. I hope you all are having a... Shit, forgot the microphones over there. But hello guys, and welcome back to the Southwick Report. I hope you all are having a good evening. Evening is the afternoon, what the fuck? I hope you're having a good afternoon. We got some news finally. Some good news finally. I'm not sure how many of you saw this, but Section 702 has failed in the House of Representatives. This is the clause in the Foreign Surveillance Act that basically gave the government the ability to consume and collect mass amounts of data on its population. And it may finally be coming to an end. We had all Democrats going against it, and 13 Republicans in the House of Representatives vote against it. One of them being the GOAT himself, Thomas Massie, who's making his name very, very well known in his last remaining days in Congress. It's going to be a horrible day when he leaves. However, unfortunately, we still had some traitors in the mix. For example, Mike Johnson came out and voiced his anger at Section 702 being repealed, as well as Pete Hegseth, who also voiced out his anger on X. And in the Senate, I believe it's the Senate, Tom Cotton voiced his disdain for it and said, we need to pass the bills that allow our intelligence agencies to intertwine with Israel's. He is by far the biggest traitor of them all, and he definitely should be taken into custody. But with all of that news, there's still quite a lot of surveillance that's going on right now. For example, Israel still spies on us. Every other nation on the planet spies on us, and we allow them to do so because for some reason we're okay with that. And unfortunately, corporations still have the infrastructure to spy on us. As long as there is an infrastructure in place for them to spy, and as long as there is a profitable means for them to spy on us, it's going to keep happening. But this rejection at least shows that our disdain towards the surveillance state is being heard now. And it may not be too much longer before we start acting against it, whether that be actually dismantling it through government reach, which that may be a bit of a stretch, I hate to say, or whether it's through the people rising up and actually forcing the government's hand on this issue. And I'm leaning more towards that option being the case, and I think it's actually going to happen if we start becoming a less prosperous nation. If we start constantly getting involved in wars, if the prices of all of the goods we use on a daily basis keep going up, and if the government starts targeting people due to political differences, it's only a matter of time before the people rise up. America is a nation that is built on the idea that overthrowing our government is the most patriotic thing we can do. It is what is supposed to be the building block of our country. It's literally in our Declaration of Independence that if a government becomes tyrannical, it is our responsibility to overthrow it and instate new government. And I firmly believe that that's going to be happening if this current government doesn't start getting its act together. However, we should still always celebrate the good news when we get it. And this is by far something worth celebrating about. As a matter of fact, antiwar.com decided to write an article about this where they talked about the rejection. It failed with a vote of 198 to 218, with 7 Democrats voting in favor and 19 Republicans joining Democrats in opposing it. And Thomas Massie wrote on X about it, saying, 19 Republicans withheld our votes in order to preserve constitutionally guaranteed rights. By refusing to honor the Fourth Amendment, you're jeopardizing the continuation of FISA. Include a warrant requirement for U.S. citizens if you want Republicans to pass this bill. Yeah, this was a bill that was first enacted in 2008, and it mostly happened around the time 9/11 had happened, and we were fighting never-ending wars overseas to try to fight the war on terror, and the government used it as a reason to surveil on its population. They used it to collect communications, any form of communications, but specifically targeting communications with non-Americans in overseas countries through overseas lines. And it allowed them to retain it in a database and allowed them to track that individual further on down the line without a warrant, which is by far a Fourth Amendment violation. And according to this article as well, efforts to extend Section 702 were also blocked in the Senate, as Democrats said they won't allow it to go through unless President Trump rescinds his decision to appoint Bill Polt, who serves as the Federal Housing Finance Agency director, they will not allow it to go through unless he rescinds that decision. Which, that shouldn't be the reason why you are holding back, but hey, we'll take it. And then, of course, Speaker Mike Johnson posted saying, willing to jeopardize the safety and security of the American people to make a cheap political point. Tell me how mass surveillance of a population is supposed to keep us safer. Because so far it hasn't done that. How many non-stop terror attacks have we had in the streets? How bad are our inner cities in general? America doesn't feel safer. They've never felt safer. And Section 702 has never made us safer. It hasn't even... There's no documented evidence that it ever stopped a terrorist plot. Mike Johnson's just speaking out of his own ass. So, I don't understand where on earth he's coming from there. But, hey, what do I know? And on top of this, Israel is once again attempting to undermine negotiations with Iran. Specifically, Trump came out and said that there was this massive deal that was coming out that was going to end the Iran war, which I think is like the almost 40th time he said this now. So, who the hell knows? But during these negotiations, the Department of War raised its counterintelligence threat posed by Israel to its top level, and essentially tried forcing them into the backseat and trying to withhold stuff from them. And because of that, Israel has been ramping up its spying on American citizens and American officials, because they want to know what is going on in these negotiations, and they want to know what about the American public's opinion of them, which, I can tell you this, not getting any better anytime soon. But when it comes to American officials, they want to know what the details of the Iran deal are going to be, and if they don't like them, they're going to go bomb Lebanon again, because that seems to be what they do. So that way they can avoid any attempts at a ceasefire. Because Benjamin Netanyahu, he is a warmonger. just as much as Lindsey Graham is, who somehow won re-election again. South Carolina, what are you doing? Yeah, so the warmongers are still winning. They won't be winning for long. I can promise that. Once the boomers die off, they will have no leverage. And the neocons, they will have no control over us. And that is going to be when liberty will win. Whether that be through political action or through revolution. So be alert and be very careful about what happens here in the next few years, because these are going to be the determining points of our generation. So, thanks for watching.